Wargaming's Chaos Tactics!
Mini Wargamer Dave here from miniwargaming.com. Welcome Wargamers to Chaos Tactics. Today we're going to talk about Plague Marines. Oh, the children of Papa Nurgle. These guys are the sickest Marines that you will find in the Warhammer 40k universe. There ain't any others that are more sick and disgusting in all of their awesomeness. So how did they become this way, Dave? Well, let me tell you. Basically, the Primarch Mortarion and his Death Guard were trapped in the warp in their spaceships, suffering the effects of a plague-filled virus that would eventually kill them, and in the hopes that they would survive, Mortarion rendered their service to the Chaos God Nurgle in order to spare their lives. And in exchange for this selfless act, Papa Nurgle gives them... My OCD's killing me right now. A bunch of pustules and pus sacks, weeping, bleeding sores, and boils, and rashes, and scars, and blood sacks of ooze disease, bloating their bodies full of this stuff. Because apparently when you go around Papa Nurgle, he just makes this happen to you because he loves it. When I think of Papa Nurgle, I think of a cross between that character from Blade, who's really big and fat, and Jabba the Hutt. When I first learned about him, I thought he was this massive hulk of muscle with all these blood boils and crap all over him, but he's actually not. He's a big fat guy. And who doesn't like the big fat guy? Look at Chris Farley. Come on now. Beverly Hills Ninja? Naughty boy. Digression. And to sum it all up, they're good friends with the Black Legion, and they work with Abaddon the Despoiler. He likes them too. For some reason, he's immune to the old pus sacks and pustules. But anyone else that crosses them, they get this disease, and they spread their illnesses. Nurgle soup. So let's talk about their stats for a little bit. They have a very interesting stat line. They're toughness 5, but the 5 is in brackets, which means strength 8 weapons can instant kill them. They have initiative 3, which is 1 less than your regular Space Marines, and so they go second when you're fighting with them. They are fearless, as are all the rest of the cultists. They got their feel no pain, which ignores the effects of a wound on a 4+. And the only other thing that's different in their war gear are blight grenades. Those being defensive grenades are very handy when they are being assaulted because you don't get your attack bonus. So those are the fundamental differences between Plague Marines and the rest of the standard Space Marine or Chaos Space Marine or cultist groups that you can look at and compare to. Let's not underestimate the Toughness 5. Toughness 5 means that if you're a Marine, you're rolling 5 to wound them instead of 4. That's a big difference. That's a difference between a half and a third. They're much tougher to kill. No pun intended. And on top of that, they make their feel no pain roll even if you do wound them. So they're incredibly, incredibly tough. Like stupid tough. Like if you're a noob and you start playing Chaos and you play Nurgle, you're gonna win more often than you'll lose. And if you play against other noobs, they're gonna hate you. I unfortunately didn't do this when I was first playing Chaos. I played regular Chaos Space Marines and I lost a lot. And I hated my life. This is also back in the day when Deafy sucked. Then he started blowing crap up with his pie plates and life was good again. Plague Marines entered the picture and they started winning games. They are a very, very forgiving army. Make a ton of mistakes and they will live to see the end of the battle. So enough of the war gear and the fluff, let's go on to deployment. How do we deploy these guys? What are they good for? Well, they're very versatile. They're good for everything, really. Put them on objectives. I mean, it's really hard to get them off objectives. They're incredibly tough. They're good against Marines, they're good against Hordes, they're good against squads. They're not good against Terminators. You see, their power weapons negate their save, which negate their feel no pain, which make them squishy. So don't pit them up against Terminators, or anything with power weapons for that matter. And when you deploy them in rhinos. Protect your pus-filled guys, or else they'll explode on you before they enter the battle. I'm just kidding, that won't actually happen. Put them in a rhino, drive up your rhino, pop smoke, protect your rhino, and then you have a couple options there. Let's go over the 2 options. Option number 1, Disembark Rapid Fire. This is a good option if you're fighting against a squad that has an armor value of 5 or higher, and you're too far away to assault them after you've disembarked. The benefits here are you get to have an extra shooting attack, and you can make use of your blight grenades when they assault you. They don't get their bonus attack for charging. It actually makes use of that piece of war gear. Option number 2, Disembark Bolt Pistol, then charge. This is a good option if you're close enough to do so, and you're fighting against Marines, or anything else for that matter, with the exception of Terminators. Not only do you get 3 attacks each on the charge, you get your extra bolt pistol shot before you get into close combat. So that's a total of 4 attacks, really, as opposed to the 2 rapid firing attacks. Sounds like a pretty good option if you can do it. That's the best case scenario. That's what I try to do. I find it works pretty well. Their toughness 5 and their feel no pain really make them last a long time. That's when words like broken and cheese get tossed around. Now, how many in a squad? Well, I'd say anywhere between 7 and 10. No less than 7. I was going to say no more than 10, but you can if you want. I personally wouldn't. I like to field 10-man squads. Make sure they have a power fist and a melta or a plasma gun in the squad. They are very expensive. Let's not forget how expensive they are. They're 23 points each. That's nothing to shake a stick at. That's a lot more expensive than 10 Chaos Space Marines with the Mark and Nurgle on them with an extra 50 points. 10 Plague Marines is 230 points. There's a 30-point difference right there. For that extra 30 points, you get Feel No Pain. And Blight Grenades. And Fearlessness. It sounds like a pretty good trade-off for 30 points, doesn't it? Sure, your initiative is dropped, but who cares? Regular Chaos Space Marines over Plague Marines. Plague Marines win every time. It's really rare that I find that regular Chaos Space Marines are actually good. The models themselves are good for being either chosen or havocs, but the actual regular Chaos Space Marine model is tough when they compare themselves to the cultists. Let's talk a little bit about the dreaded Feel No Pain. Feel No Pain, essentially a second armor save, right? Roll a 4 up, the wound is ignored. What negates Feel No Pain? Any weapon with an AP 1 or 2 does, and any wound where an armor save can never be made does, so one has to be very careful when fielding Plague Marines. Always have them in some sort of cover if you're fighting against an army that has AP 1 or 2 weapons, and you're out in the middle of openness. Have them in your Rhino as much as possible. I'm serious. Nothing worse than not seeing the Feel No Pain being made, and the bullets getting stuck inside their body, and it doing nothing to them. It's kind of like that scene in Con Air when Nicolas Cage was walking towards that one guy, when Nicolas Cage looked like he had nothing left to lose, and the guy was having the gun towards him. He just kept on walking with a straight face, and the guy shot, and he had a flesh wound in his arm, and he completely ignored it, and then he killed him, and he punched him, and whatever happened. Yeah, just like that. He didn't feel the flesh wound. Or in like the first Predator movie, where Jesse Ventura was bleeding, and Carl Weathers says to him, "Hey, bleeding." And Jesse Ventura goes, "I ain't got time to bleed." Kind of like that. So if you're confident when fielding your Plague Marines that they can be out in the open and they won't be killed instantly by weapons of mass destruction on the other side, it's sometimes a good strategy to use them as a wall of cover for other models that you don't want to be shot at. They're great for objective games, they're great for kill points games, actually great for anything really. They're very versatile. I mean, they're really nice guys. You will like them a lot. They're kind of stinky. And they're ugly. They're bloated, they're fat, their teeth are missing, they're bloody and sweaty, but they will win you games. They do have compassion and forgiveness, because even if you suck, you'll still win sometimes. Yes, I know the models behind me are not actual Plague Marines. They are regular Chaos Space Marines painted in a trying to be a Plague Marine color, which incidentally was used with Army Painter spray paint. It was actually a very quick job. I painted up 40 of these Marines in no time at all. And this was before Finecast came out, so that's why I did it, because I didn't want to have metal Plague Marines. So, quick recap. 7 to 10 man squads in a Rhino with a Power Fist and a Melta or Plasma Gun, whatever your choice is. Keep them in cover as much as possible. Avoid squads with weapons that will negate your armor save. Avoid strength 8 or higher weapons because they'll insta-kill you. And just throw them at the enemy and have fun. Why didn't I just say that at the beginning of the video? Maybe it's because it's chaos related and I just like to talk a lot. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you would like me to do more Chaos Tactics videos, please click the Facebook like button above, or if you're on YouTube, click the like button down there. Now for the question. Do you think Plague Marines are overpowered? And if so, how? We're not going to allow these Emperor-loving Boy Scouts to just trance all over this, are we? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.